In this video, we're going to talk about one of the newest initiatives that Amazon has launched for its selling partners, called Ships in Product Packaging Program, which allows Amazon sellers to ship certified products in their own custom brand packaging without any additional Amazon packaging. I will be joined by the representative of this program to talk about what this program is, what are the requirements to join, and what are the main benefits for both the customers and sellers. To learn more about the program, click on the link in the video description below and stay until the end of the video. Hello, Kayla. I'm very excited to have you on Orange Click channel today to talk about one of the newest Amazon initiatives, which is Ships in Product Packaging Program. We're going to go over different details, who's gonna sign up for this program, what are the requirements, and also what are the benefits for the customers and the sellers on the platform. Before we do that, could you first introduce yourself and just very briefly tell us what this program is all about?
My name is Kayla Fenton. I am a senior manager at Amazon for our sustainable packaging team. And within sustainable packaging, we work on packaging innovation, ways that we can deliver less to customers in terms of packaging waste while still delighting them with their delivery experience. The Ships in Product Packaging Program enables our selling partners to ship certified products in their own custom brand packaging without any additional Amazon packaging. So that's the brief summary of myself and also what SIP is.
Very cool. And actually, we do have a video of you as well. So we're going to have a little clip which kind of gives a background information about you and also the point of this packaging topic overall for customers, but also the sellers who are watching us now.
Growing up, I remember when you got a package, there was all the bubble wrap and you'd spend an inordinate amount of time popping each one. It's weird to reflect on that because now my dream is like, let's never put a bubble wrap out there in the world again. If you think about a delivery package, you'll almost universally think about a brown box. In the worst case, you've got a brown box and there's perhaps a very small item in that brown box. It's the box in the box conundrum. I interned in the Amazon Pathways program, got firsthand experience in operations, and got really excited about the idea of finding ways to reduce waste in the system. Ship-in product packaging is where we deliver items to the customer in their original product packaging. So we do not add any Amazon delivery packaging during fulfillment. I have a 1.5-year-old, so more deliveries with more packaging is just a pain point that I do not want in my life. If I order a pack of diapers, instead of putting that box in another Amazon box, it's just gonna come in the original packaging itself. It eliminates packaging waste, and it's also more convenient for the customer because they don't have as much packaging waste to manage and recycle at their home as well. Amazon sells such a diverse array of products. Everything from batteries to toothbrushes to refrigerators. And that inherently means that we have to design packaging solutions for a lot of different product types, and also means we have to leverage science and technology to ensure we're using as little as possible for any given order. And this system, along with lots of other initiatives, has helped us reduce our total packaging weight by 2 million tons worldwide since 2015.
Okay, very cool video that you put together. So, Kayla, first, why even did you want to develop this program and launch this program for the Amazon selling partners?
Yeah, great question. So to answer that, let's take a look at how Amazon traditionally ships items throughout our fulfillment network. I'll use an example of a glass cleaner. So many customers buy these from lots of retailers, but especially off Amazon. And we all appreciate that Amazon has fast delivery and we can get that bottle cleaner right at our doorstep. But it does need to take a number of stops before it gets to that spot. It goes from the seller or the manufacturer. Sometimes it might get repacked at a repacking facility where the item or packaging is updated to be more suitable for e-commerce. And then it'll go to Amazon's distribution center to get staged, sorted, and then distributed. And with each stop along the way, that glass cleaner picks up a little something extra. Maybe it's an additional box, it's potentially bubble wrap, maybe some tape to prevent leakage. And all that packaging is just added up, right? It's there for a reason. It's to get the product to the customer undamaged. But, internally, because our goal is to reduce the amount of packaging we're sending to customers, we asked ourselves, how can we ship items safely and efficiently to our customers while reducing the amount of packaging? And what if we could redesign our process and how we interact with selling partners in order to achieve that? And that's how Amazon Ship-in Product Packaging Program was born.
Okay. And for me, it seems it's not like an easy task to do. So how exactly did you develop the program? Because one thing, there's so many different products on Amazon. It's not just figuring out for one product size or type. So how did you develop the program exactly? And by now, you probably have some first results as well, or how the things are going now.
Yeah, definitely. So when the program first started, we focused our time on identifying products that Amazon already had in our inventory that selling partners were already distributing that we felt qualified to be shipped in their own packaging, and that we were adding additional packaging to deliver it to customers, but it wasn't really adding any significant value. And, to your point, we have lots and lots of products, right? A to Z means truly A to Z. We offer everything under the sun. And so in order to do that effectively, we designed and built machine learning models to determine the most efficient packaging type for each item. So it looks at our catalog, it mines it for information about that item. It combines it with some physical information we might know about it as part of testing processes. And identifies what's the least amount of packaging needed to ship that item to a customer without being damaged. So the model helps us reduce our packaging and makes deliveries more efficient and ensures that products remain protected during delivery. And through this program and other initiatives, including Ship-in Product Packaging, we've been able to reduce our packaging we send to customers by 41% per shipment on average over the last since 2015, which amounts to around 2 million tons of packaging material eliminated over that same time horizon. So it's a big milestone. And obviously, we're continuing to grow that every year with more advancements in that process and expansion of programs like Ship-in Product Packaging. So for that program in particular, in 2022, as an example, 11% of all of our orders were shipped without additional Amazon packaging. So we've already made a lot of progress as part of this program to date. And given its initial success, we want to expand it. We're expanding the program by collaborating closer with selling partners to scale our program and deliver even more packages that are easy to open and can be shipped without that additional packaging by Amazon.
Okay, very exciting to hear the first results, and I think it's a really great initiative, and we're happy to also be part of helping to spread the word among the selling partners. So, as we said, like it's about the customers and the selling partners. So let's first talk about the sellers. So, if you have to highlight a few of the main benefits selling partners would have when they participate or take part of the program, then what would you highlight the most?
To answer this question, I've got a few slides that I'll share right now as a starting point. Let's start with what I would say is an easy one and also one that's really important to me personally, and that's sustainability. At Amazon, we're constantly innovating and investing to become a more sustainable company end to end, especially as it relates to packaging. And customers themselves are also becoming more environmentally conscious. For example, 69% of consumers say sustainability has become more important to them over the last 2 years. 80% care about the environmental impact of their purchase, and 80% are willing to pay more for sustainable products. So this appetite to support more sustainable packaging options, or more sustainable options, includes packaging for sure. And in fact, on this next slide, you can see that the top 3 sustainability initiatives that drive customers to purchase more from a brand are related to packaging, including the need to reduce plastic, overall packaging, and use recycled content in their packaging. So through our program, we can help minimize excess packaging so our customers and our partners can move faster to make their businesses and their lives more sustainable.
Okay, and are there any additional benefits sellers could expect when they enroll into the program?
Yeah, absolutely. A big one for sellers, I know, is cost savings. So cost saving is another benefit of the program. So to encourage our partners to join into Ship-in Product Packaging and our sustainability mission, we are incentivizing sellers by helping them reduce their costs, specifically on FBA fulfillment fees. we're offering lower fulfillment fees for products shipped through our program. The fee discounts vary depending on the size, weight, and marketplace it ships in. You can see here on this next slide an example of what the fees look like in different regions that Amazon operates in. But generally speaking, they range from around 4 cents per unit to up to $1.32 in the US or 4.25 pounds in the UK. And you can imagine those higher savings amount are associated with larger products in a portfolio. So sort of roughly correlates with size. So that's the direct savings, right? So you can just get day one, you can get fee reductions by participating and enrolling a product in shipment product packaging. But there's also indirect cost savings that can come as well. Generally, when you redesign and right size packaging to a particular product, those even might be able to move to a lower fee tier, which could also result in less costs. There can also be benefits to avoiding prep fees. So prep fees happen when a product needs a little bit of extra protection, and Amazon then applies that, whether that's bubble wrap or sealing or tape. When you're certified as ship and product packaging, by nature, you don't need prep. And so you're also able to guarantee that you're avoiding those prep fees as well. And I think, the last component that's super important that, is less about individual fee reductions is about just a better brand and customer experience. Customers are seeing your product on their doorstep and packaging that you get to brand, right, to represent what's important to you. And that can lead to a really great customer experience.
Yeah, that kind of brings us to, from sellers to customers and then their experience. So what do you think, how exactly is this program helping to improve the customer experience further?
Yeah. Well, I think all of us can relate a little bit to being a frequent orderer on Amazon, which I am. And when you order a lot, you notice, right, especially when there's a lot of orders coming at once, those extra boxes and packaging, they add up, right? And you start to notice when perhaps the package isn't right size for that particular item. And, it can be concerning from a sustainability perspective, but it's also can just be a hassle, right? You have a bunch of extra materials that you have to deal with in whatever way makes sense for you. So shipping and product packaging reduces the amount of layers of packaging that the customer is having to manage, all of which improves the buying and the unboxing experience. And overall, I think another important component of that is that when the packaging is really designed for the individual product in mind, sellers can also reduce the frequency that item might damage in transit because the packaging is really suited and sort of right-sized to that particular product. So customers get less waste, they get their product undamaged more frequently, and overall just have less to deal with as a result of that. So that's a really positive benefit of the program for customers in particular. I want to show some examples, though, to make this a little bit more real, that sort of highlight each of these components. Well, one is called out before is that branding can really make a difference for how a customer experiences not just ordering on Amazon, but like how they interact with your product as a seller in particular. So branding packaging can enhance the customer experience by, giving that simple messaging that sort of connects what they ordered to the delivery experience, and really promote more consumer engagement by letting them learn more about the product. And finally, a really important element of the program is being easy to open and simple to open, and that openability has a lot of customer benefit. There's also, other creative ways that selling partners have been able to design their products with the end packaging in mind for e-commerce, so that it's not just about how the package looks on the outside, but how the product fits in that package and how the unboxing experience itself becomes more part of, can be in your control, right? You can design that experience and develop really fun and interesting ways that the customer can interact with the products once they open their package. And a great way to do that is in the form of sets or bundles, where you can pair products together to make a gift set or something more sustainable, like refill options, which is one of the options shown here. And finally, I think the continuing on the theme of like delighting customers, like we've seen some really fun and creative ways that selling partners have made packaging a part of the product itself in a really fun way. And I think toys are a great example of this. This is a reversible box where when it arrives on the doorstep, it's in a brown box, which is what maybe somebody's going to expect, especially around the holidays if they're ordering toys, right? But it can be flipped around and not just be a unique box for gifting to a kid in your life, but then also it can be part of how that toy, how they keep that toy and how it becomes part of the product. So we've seen some really cool innovations from selling partners as they've thought about ship and product packaging, and I know we're going to see even more as we expand this program in the future.
Okay, very cool examples, especially the last one, of course, very creative solution. But in the previous example, so if sellers are customizing the packaging, as we saw, it's kind of clearly visible what this product is from the packaging itself. So what do you think from the customer's perspective? Like, does it raise any concerns if, let's say, you see straight away what is waiting for you on your doorstep?
Yeah, sure. It's a great question. So there's a few components to that. I think one that people immediately think about is like, is it going to get stolen? Like if somebody knows what the product is, like when it's sitting on a customer's doorstep, is that going to lead to higher theft? And of course, we're a very data-driven company, so we look at this really closely and we monitor all the time to understand if theft rates or, when an item is marked as delivered, but the customer doesn't receive it, are they changing? Are they elevating? And because we've had this program for several years, we've been able to monitor that over time. And we don't see a correlation between items not being in Amazon packaging and theft. If we do see any sort of correlation for an individual product type, we'll stop sending those items in their original packaging and we'll make a change. So because we have so much experience with this program and we've seen that it's a relatively low risk concern, and we also have the mechanisms for monitoring it to make sure that if for whatever reason that one particular product might have an issue, that we can make a change for that one. We also, though, acknowledge that, like, regardless of whether it's going to get stolen or not, some customers may want packaging, right? For whatever reason, they might be have something delivered to their house, and they don't want somebody in their household to know what that item is for any reason. We think about that in two ways. One is that certain product types that are sort of not suitable, we would say, for the program, are just sort of excluded outright. So think like a collectible item, right? That where the packaging is really part of the product in a material way. And so you don't want to have that collectible item both on a doorstep or sort of shipped that way. We'll just exclude those altogether. Now, I think what's unique about selling partners and their ability to participate in this program is that they can design the package in a way that maybe addresses that concern. And if they do, then we'd be happy to let those products ship in product packaging as well. So we exclude some of these items from the program unless it's in a way that the customer won't easily know what's inside, or somebody in transit won't easily know what's inside. We'll exclude those types of products. Now, that's actually a very small portion, though. There's not a whole lot of product types that fall into that category. So the second thing that we do is for eligible items that are, we think, a great fit for the program. Some of the examples you've already seen, like the one on the screen. We offer customers the opportunity to opt out for any product, any order. So here's a example of what that looks like on our website, where a shopper can opt out and select for their item to be concealed in an Amazon overbox. So you can see here what that purchasing experience looks like. It starts on the detail page. Shoppers see a little note that indicates that the product is eligible for ships and product packaging. They have the ability to click to learn more about that program, of course. And then once they get to the checkout page, which is here on the right, they will also be able to manage their packaging options, and they can select Amazon added packaging if they want to, for whatever reason. We don't penalize sellers in terms of the fee perspective either if that happens. So if a customer requests added packaging, that doesn't change whether a seller receives the fee benefit for that item being enrolled in the program. We've already taken that all into account on the back end already. And then the last piece is one that we're actually just starting to roll out this year in 2024, is on package messaging, so that perhaps the customer doesn't see all this detail on the website, or they click through kind of fast because they're in a hurry and they just want to order something. We want to make sure that they know, when they receive their item in a particular way, that they've got that messaging on the package itself, most likely on the shipping label, but then we'll also be experimenting with some glossier labels as well to educate the customer on the program. So that's kind of what our overall customer experience and customer interaction with the program looks like today.
Very cool, and good to hear that you're constantly developing the program and taking in feedback and then kind of fine-tuning everything. I think it's very important. So when talking about products, so generally speaking, if sellers are watching us now, what type of items are recommended for the program or are the best fit for it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have lots, frankly, any product potentially could be a great fit. There's not one, you do have to, that's kind of sort of the beauty of it, is you can design for your particular product, which means there's lots of great opportunities. But there are some that are sort of growing, I would say, and the use of this particular this particular program. And the first is in the apparel and shoe category, where we're seeing more and more shipping in original bag. So it's a bag instead of a box, but it's like the great fit for that particular item. It's an opportunity to reduce overall material. So instead of having 2 layers of material that's going to the customer, you just have that 1 layer that's really right size for that particular product and whatever its fragility level is. We do recommend, if selling partners are choosing a bagged option, that they use opaque or semi-opaque bags. Once again, because the privacy component for customers, and it's just a better experience and also an opportunity to showcase the brand once again. There's also other, products that we sort of see as like very low risk of damage that are really great fits for the program. So besides apparel, there's also like apparel and linen and towels and things that are very low likelihood to damage during shipping, and also could be really low cost in terms of from a selling partner's perspective to either update or slightly change the packaging they're already using in order to qualify. It could be, for example, just a simple change to what the adhesive for the seal type for the bag looks like, and you're almost there, right? You might already be in a very close to what would qualify for ship-in product packaging. So I think softer items like you see here is a great example of where we've seen lately a lot more innovation. On the flip side, large and bulky items can also be a great fit in the sense that they're typically already in a box of some sort, which can help, right? Because you've already got some of the packaging there that's going to be needed to meet the eligibility requirements. They also tend to have a higher relative discount rate, as I mentioned earlier. So your bigger, heavier things are going to have more incentive associated with them to qualify for ship-in product packaging. And the last one that I'll say is multi-packs are often a great fit for ship-in product packaging because by nature you are bundling together. And if you're bundling together, likely you're doing so in a way that leverages some sort of packaging. We've seen a lot of really interesting and fun ways of using multi-packs to enroll in ship-in product packaging. And it also just tends to be very cost efficient and like a good overall fit for the program.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And as the program has been around for a bit already, what kind of feedback have you received from the sellers who have been already enrolled themselves to the program?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we started this program as a pilot in 2023, collected a lot of feedback from sellers in that time before we launched it at full scale this year in February of 2024. And we've heard a lot from sellers that they're really excited about this program to help them meet their sustainability missions while also elevating their brand and getting some fee discounts in the process as well. So we have a video here that is a testimonial. So we'll let a seller speak for themselves to help share what they're feeling.
Consumers in today's day and age, they agree that sustainability is important.
Blueland has been an early adopter of Amazon's ship-in product packaging. It enables us to ship to the end consumer in Blueland's product packaging without requiring additional Amazon packaging, such as an Amazon box or an Amazon envelope, which obviously cuts down in waste.
Amazon's Ships in Product Packaging program has allowed us to stay true to our core values, and also it was important for us to be able to reach our customer in our original branded packaging, where the customer can feel the Bearabee brand at every touch point.
We've put a lot of work into building our brand, so we always want to have our packaging and brand front and center, and Amazon's Ships in Product Packaging program allows us to do that.
Okay, and now let's go to more details than we have been talking for now. So when sellers watching us would like to know more about it and specifically enroll themselves into the program, then how is the process usually?
Yeah, great question. So right now, just to sort of level set, the program is open for enrollment through Seller Central to all FBA sellers that sell into the United States, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom. We expect to expand to additional European marketplaces in the future, but right now it's those 4 or 5 that folks are probably used to. And overall, the path to certification follows a 4-step process that's shown here on this slide. The first is to review your current product and its packaging, and if needed, you develop a design that works for what you're trying to achieve with Ship in Product Packaging and also meets the requirements for the program. So let me give a few examples of what that might look like. There's potentially some options where you're reviewing your products and there's some quick wins available, right? Apparel is one that we just talked about, but also items that are already in a rigid box, so it can be a really great opportunity as well. There's some that maybe need a minor adjustment, right? An addition of a piece of tape so that it's sealed securely during transit, which is an important component of eligibility. Or you might decide, hey, I'm ready to do a transformative packaging redesign, and I really want to design my product now for e-commerce with packaging in mind. And that's where, maybe there's something more to the design process for products like that. And we see that in a lot of different product areas, but toys is one that I've talked about a few times during the session already. That is a great way to really be innovative and actually have your product and packaging stand out against others. So I think you'll find like some product and packaging may be easier to transition than others. And overall, connecting your products to the particular packaging type that you want to use, whether that's flexible or rigid, is going to be really important. So you know the requirements for each of those, and can also make sure that your design takes each of those requirements in mind. So one thing I'll just kind of talk about quickly as it relates to requirements is what's excluded, right? Sometimes it's easier to talk about what's not allowed than what is allowed, because what is allowed is, we want you to innovate and find the right solution for your particular product. But there are a few things that right now are not allowed in the program. So those are shown here on the screen. I won't go through each one, but just as a high level, right, where right now we don't allow products that are classified as dangerous goods or strong magnets, just because there's some fulfillment challenges with those. Granular products that are very, very fine in nature that, if they were to open in transit would sort of cause a lot of challenges, are also excluded from the program. And then, items that have zippers or protrusions or something that could easily be caught during fulfillment are also excluded. So there's a few exclusions inherent in the program, and that's really just designed to make sure that the products are getting to the customer intact, without delay, and ultimately delivering that great end-to-end customer experience. So that's the review and the design step. Next I'll talk about grouping similar products. So let's say you've now designed, you have your t-shirt, maybe it's a blue t-shirt, right? And you've confirmed and you've sort of looked at the eligibility criteria and you really think that it's a great fit and it's going to be eligible for the program. The next step is to group similar ASINs together. So you might have a blue t-shirt and you also have a red t-shirt of the same type. Good news is we don't make you enroll those separately, right? That would be probably a lot of work for certain sellers where they have a lot of different product types that might be using nearly exactly the same packaging. So in this step, you're evaluating the ASINs that are eligible to be grouped based on criteria that we've published. And you're grouping them based on size, weight, material, packaging, the product to packaging ratio and the quantity, so that you can sort of cluster a group of products together for enrollment. You can review really detailed information about grouping eligibility and what that looks like on our website and then also on Seller Central. But this is an important step because it's about efficiency for you and for us, right? That you get to sort of combine like products and like packaging together to make enrollment a lot more simpler. And then from there, right, you can take your representative product that's a representative of that family of products that you've identified and you test. So there are a few different ways to go about testing, and the testing process does look different for rigid versus flexible options. So knowing which one you're using is very important. And the good news is you can self-test a majority of products. So products that are not very heavy, that are not fragile, and that do not contain liquid or sharp items can be self-tested. And we give very detailed information about how you can self-test your products for enrollment as well. If your product is heavy or is fragile or is containing liquid or sharp items, you can use a certified lab from ISTA, which is the International Safe Transit Authority, to test your products. You can also use ISTA if you just don't want to self-test as well, right? So there's ISTA as an option, whether or not you meet these requirements or not. You can use an ISTA lab to complete the testing, just to outsource that and perhaps make it a little more simpler for yourself. So either self-test or you get a test from an ISTA lab. Our packaging website has a list of labs that are certified as for the ISTA program. And you can get that list and sort of get a sense of who you might be able to use if you want to take that route. So after you've tested and evaluated, the last and final and fun step, because you're at the end, is to enroll your ASINs. You do this by logging into Seller Central, and you'll enter the Ship in Product Packaging app within Seller Central. One thing to note is only ASINs that are buyable through FBA will be displayed there. So to make sure your product's viable, if an ASIN is out of stock or doesn't have an active FBA listing, it's not going to be shown as eligible in Seller Central portal today. But assuming that it is viable, you'll see a list of products, and the system will allow you to search for that product, group the family of products together, as I mentioned earlier, and submit all the information needed to enroll it in the program. That information is going to include things like a test report, photo of the item during and after testing, but all that detail is shown on the website, and we'll walk you through each step as you go into Seller Central. So those are the 4 steps to enroll in the program. Those steps will look different for each selling partner and each particular product, but we've definitely designed them with ease in mind, self-service in mind, so that everybody can participate in the way and the pace that they would like to.
Okay, Gayla. Well, this information is very, very helpful. I think also very detailed. But as you said, it's a bit different process for each selling partner based on their product. So how else are you supporting sellers? Like, where could they find more information about the program, but also about enrolling their products to the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the Amazon-packaging website. If you just Google Amazon packaging or go to amazon-packaging.com or whatever your URL is and where you are, you'll find a packaging website that has a lot of details about everything I described here at 5 or 6 finer grain than what I said. But one of the other things that it has that I really love is our packaging solutions library. So as I mentioned, this program has been around for a little while. We're just now kind of opening it to FBA sellers directly. But because it's been around for a while, we've learned some things about what's a good fit, right, for the program, and what are some different packaging options that might be a good fit for your product. And we've published these in what we call the Packaging Solutions Library. That library has over 200 different packaging options that you can explore. It can be filtered by particular packaging or product type, so you can get inspired for what might be a good fit for your particular item or package type that you want to use. And those can really help give some inspiration for, like, where do I start, right? If you're not sure where to start, the Packaging Solutions Library is a great launch point because it gives you some of those initial ideas to help guide that. There's also an option within Seller Central called the Service Provider Network. Some of you may already use the Service Provider Network for other things because it's not unique just to SIOC, but within SPN, there are providers that you can search for. You can select and filter to ship and product packaging, and it'll give you a list of service providers that can help you with the design, manufacturing, or packing process related to enrolling, designing, and participating in ship and product packaging. So we're always growing these resources. This is the starting point for these resources. It's not the end. We're always looking for new ways to make it easier for selling partners to participate in the program. So keep a lookout on this website because there's going to be a lot of cool new things to come.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to introduce this program for us and going over the main details. As you said, this is just a starting point, so we hope to help you to spread the word among the sellers. And we also hope to get an updated view of the program maybe in the near future on our channel again. So good luck with developing the program further, and we hope to see you soon again.
Great. Thank you so much for giving us the chance to talk with sellers about this.
I hope you enjoyed watching this video and now know all of the most important details you have to know about Ships in the Product Packaging program, which Amazon recently launched for its selling partners. If you want to learn more or be up to date with the updates the program has, click on the link in the video description below. And now I would like to invite you to watch other videos on OrangeClick YouTube channel, because all of the content is created just for you to help you to succeed and manage your Amazon business better.